The board will now come to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Schweitzer. Alderman Oldenburg. Alderman Cone. Alderman Narayan. Alderman Balmer. Alderwoman Velazquez. Alderwoman Sanye. Alderwoman Spencer. Alderman Browning. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Alderwoman Keys. Alderwoman Tyus. Alderwoman Boyd. Alderman Aldridge. President Green.
Present.
Alderman Cone. Alderman Balmer. Alderwoman Velazquez. Alderwoman Spencer. Alderwoman Keys. Alderwoman Tyus. Alderwoman Boyd. 8 present. You have quorum.
A quorum being present, we will dispense with line items 3 and 4 and move to introduction of honored guests. Any introduction of honored guests? Alderwoman from the 1st.
Thank you, Madam President and members of the board. Today, I'd like to have as my honored guests the families of the St. Louis police officers who lost their lives in the line of duty. Many of us were at the memorial breakfast this morning, and if we could also maybe take silence for those officers.
We could please stand and bow our heads for a moment of silence.
Thank you.
Any further introduction of honored guests? Alderwoman from the 7th.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I'm going to have my honored guests, all of the graduates, especially collegiate. They had their graduation this past weekend, and they have experienced a lot, from starting their high school years with a pandemic to experiencing a school shooting. But they all graduated, and a third of them graduated with 4.0s. And all of them are really heading off to do some amazing things. So congratulations to them and to the graduates all across our city.
Any further introduction of honored guests? Any further introduction of honored guests? Seeing none, Alderwoman from the 10th, you're recognized on the approval of the minutes from Friday, May 17, 2024.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I move that we approve the minutes from Friday, May 17, 2024.
It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 10th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 7th, that we approve the minutes from Friday, May 17, 2024. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Report of city officials.
The report of city officials can be found in A, B, and C of the agenda and has been placed in the Google Drive for your review. Dear members of the board, I have the pleasure to submit the following individuals for appointment to the Civilian Oversight Board. The appointment of Bradley Ortega, Christine Brooks, Keith Rose, Harrison Stan, Stephen Rovak, Sierra Simrall, Jennifer Whitaker, David Jackson Jr., and Derek Kilgore. I respectfully request your approval of this appointment. Sincerely, Tashara O. Jones, Mayor.
Alderman from the 4th, you're recognized on Mayor Jones' appointments to the Civilian Oversight Board.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I'd like to send the aforementioned folks to public safety.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 4th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 7th, that we send Mayor Jones' appointments to the Civilian Oversight Board to public safety. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That's the extended report of city officials.
Okay. All right. We will dispense with line items 8 through 11. Bear with me for 1 minute. Okay. We are going to change the agenda a little bit and skip over first reading of board bills because we have one more board bill that is still being printed to be introduced today. So I'm going to move ahead to second reading and report of standing committees, and then we will go back to first reading of board bills.
The following board bills were reported out of Public Infrastructure with the due pass recommendation. Board Bill 26, sponsored by Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, an ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Streets to permanently close, barricade, or otherwise impede the flow of traffic on the 5800 block of Cates Avenue by blocking said traffic flow at the intersection of the 5800 block of Cates Avenue and Hamilton Avenue. Board Bill 31, sponsored by Alderwoman 31 as amended, sponsored by Alderwoman Schweitzer. An ordinance recommended by the Board of Public Service authorizing the 2024 St. Louis Works and 50/50 Sidewalk Program citywide, providing for the construction and reconstruction of gutters, streets, driveways, spot curbs, sidewalks, alleys, traffic controls, beautification, tree planting, resurfacing, related engineering adjustment listed herein, appropriating $5.2 million from the Street Improvement Fund, containing sections for description of the work, approval of plans, specification, work and material guarantees, estimated costs from city funds and supplemental agreements, and reversions authorization, applicable state and federal wage rate requirements, equal opportunity provisions, the mayor's executive orders, contract advertisement statutes, and a public work emergency clause. Board Bill 32, as amended, sponsored by Alderwoman Spencer, Alderwoman Boyd, Alderman Cone, Alderwoman Keys, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, Alderman Browning, Alderwoman Sanye, Alderman Narayan, Alderwoman Velazquez, Alderman Aldridge, and Alderwoman Schweitzer. An ordinance authorizing the honorary street name on Leon Way pursuant to ordinance number 68937, which shall begin at the intersection of South 8th Street and Walnut Street and run north on South 8th Street to the intersection of South 8th Street and Market Street. That's the extent of second reading report of standing committees.
Report of special committees.
We have none.
Board bills for perfection consent.
We have none.
We can dispense with line items 15 and 16A. Board bills for perfection.
Board Bill 21, sponsored by Alderwoman Keys, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Public Service of the City of St. Louis, establishing multiple public works and improvement projects on Loughborough Avenue, Grand Drive Bridge, Dr. Martin Luther King Drive, 4th Street, and Washington Avenue in the City of St. Louis, containing an emergency clause.
Alderwoman from the 8th, you are recognized on the perfection of Board Bill 21.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I move for perfection of Board Bill 20.
It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 8th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 7th, that we perfect Board Bill number 21. Alderwoman, you may proceed.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Madam President. Board Bill 21 I'm handling for our colleague, Alderwoman Keys. As we all know, she's been suffering from an inability to speak this week. So anyway, in any case, this ordinance, which really came to the Board of Aldermen from the Board of Public Service, allows us to take some grant money, some federal grant money, to do 4 major projects throughout the city of St. Louis, one of which is in my district, so I'm proud to support this. But this is really just an initiative that is to address some of the major investments citywide. It's a matching program, so the city is putting up a portion of the very large cost of doing these large public works improvements projects. And with that, I ask for favorable consideration of the board.
Is there any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, it's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 8th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 7th, that we perfect Board Bill number 21. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Board Bill 8, sponsored by Alderwoman Boyd, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, authorizing and directing the issuance, establishment of terms, and sale by the City Municipal Finance Corporation of its City Park Leasehold Improvement Dedicated Revenue Refunding Bonds in the principal amount not to exceed $25 million, containing a severability clause and an emergency clause.
Alderwoman from the 13th, you're recognized on the perfection of Board Bill 8.
Hello? Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you, Madam President. I asked to move Board Bill number 8 to perfection.
Been moved by the Alderwoman from the 13th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 7th, that we perfect Board Bill number 8. Alderwoman, you may proceed.
I renew my motion.
Okay. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, it's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 13th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 7th, that we perfect Board Bill number 8. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
Okay.
Motion carries.
Okay.
Okay. At this point in time, we will go back to first reading of board bills. Alderman from the 4th, you are recognized on the motion to suspend the rules for the purposes of introducing Board Bill 41.
Thank you, Madam President. Members of the board, I move that we suspend the rules to introduce Board Bill 41 to first read calendar.
Is there a second? It's been moved by the Alderman from the 4th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 7th, that we suspend the rules for the purposes of introducing Board Bill number 41. This is a non-debatable motion. Madam Clerk, please call.
Alderman Schweitzer. Alderman Oldenburg. Alderman Cone. Alderman Narayan. Alderman Valmer. Alderwoman Velazquez. Alderwoman Sanye. Alderwoman Spencer. Alderman Browning. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Alderwoman Keys. Alderwoman Tyus. Alderwoman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderman Aldridge. President Green.
Aye.
Bless. Christ.
Alderman Oldenburg. Alderman Cone. Alderwoman Keys. Alderwoman Tyus. 10 aye votes and 1 voted present.
By your vote, you sustain the motion from the Alderman from the 4th to suspend the rules for the purposes of introducing Board Bill 41. Please place Board Bill 41 at the end of the first reading of board bills.
So noted.
First reading of board bills.
Board Bill 40, sponsored by Alderwoman Boyd, an ordinance authorizing the City of St. Louis by and through Forestry Commissioner of the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Forestry to accept the grant award from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Forest Service, Urban and Community Forestry Inflation Reduction Act Grant Program in the amount of $8 million containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 41, sponsored by Alderman Narayan, an ordinance calling and providing for the holding of an election in the City of St. Louis on November 5th, 2024, for the purpose of submitting to the qualified voters of the City of St. Louis a proposal to impose a license fee in the amount of $1.50 per occupied room per day on short-term rental units within the City of St. Louis, which are operating pursuant to the City of St. Louis Ordinance 71729, directing the city clerk to provide notice of the election, providing for the notice of election as provided by law and the manner of voting thereat, providing for the publication of this ordinance, directing the city register to certify a copy of this ordinance, election to be held on the day prescribed by Section 115.121.3 Revised Statutes of Missouri on Tuesday, November the 5th, 2024. That's the extent of first reading of board bills.
You can please send Board Bill 41 to HUD's.
So noted.
Reference to Committee of Board Bills.
To the Health and Human Development Committee, Board Bill 40. To the HUD's Committee, Board Bill 41. That's the extent of reference to committee.
Thank you. At this time, we will go back to report of engrossment.
Board Bill 4, 5, 6, 18, 19, 22, and 23.
Or wait, sorry. Apologies. Alderwoman from the 13th, you are recognized on the motion to suspend the rules for the purposes of moving Board Bill 8 to the third reading and final passage of Board Bills consent calendar.
Can you hear me? Okay. Oh, God. Thank you, Madam President. So I asked to suspend the rules to, what did you just say? Because my mind is moving fast.
Board Bill 8 to the third reading and final passage.
I asked to suspend the rules to move Board Bill 8 to final passage.
Is there a second?
Third reading.
It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 13th, seconded by the Alderwoman first, that we suspend the rules for the purposes of moving Board Bill 8 to the third reading and final passage of Board Bills consent calendar. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Schweitzer. Alderman Oldenburg. Alderman Cone.
Aye.
Alderman Narayan. Alderman Balmer. Alderwoman Velazquez. Alderwoman Sanye. Alderwoman Spencer. Alderman Browning. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Alderwoman Keys. Alderwoman Tyus. Alderwoman Boyd. Alderman Aldridge. President Green.
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Alderwoman Keys. Alderwoman Tyus. 13 aye votes.
By your vote, you sustain the motion. From the Alderwoman from the 13th, please place Board Bill number 8 at the end of the third final passage of Board Bills on the consent calendar. Report of engrossment.
Board Bill 4, 5, 6, 18, 19, 22, 23, and 8.
Third reading and final passage of Board Bills consent.
Board Bill 4, 5, 6, 18, 19, 22, 23, and 8.
Alderwoman from the 10th, you're recognized on the motion to adopt the third reading and final passage of Board Bills on the consent calendar.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I move that we adopt the third reading and final passage of Board Bills consent calendar.
It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 10th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 7th, that we adopt the third and final passage of Board Bills on the consent calendar. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Schweitzer. Alderman Oldenburg. Alderman Cone. Alderman Narayan. Alderman Balmer. Alderwoman Velazquez. Alderwoman Sanye. Alderwoman Spencer. Alderman Browning. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Alderwoman Keys. Alderwoman Tyus. Alderwoman Boyd. Alderman Aldridge. President Green.
Aye.
Alderwoman Keys. Alderwoman Tyus. 13 aye votes.
By your vote, you sustain the motion. From the Alderwoman from the 10th, to have third read and finally passed the aforementioned bill. Third reading and final passage of Board Bills.
We have none.
Report of the finally passed and signed by the President.
Board Bills 4, 5, 6, 18, 19, 22, 23, and 8.
All other business being suspended, the President shall in open session affix her signature hereto again, that these may become law. First reading of resolutions in reference to committees.
We have none.
We can dispense with line item 20. Second reading of resolution committee reports and adoption. This time, I move that the meeting of the full Board of Aldermen be closed to the public under the provisions of 610.0213 and 610.022 of the Missouri Revised Statutes in order to permit the members of the board to discuss matters related to the hiring, firing, disciplining, or promoting of employees of the Board of Aldermen. Is there a second? It's been seconded by the alderman from the 4th. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Oh, we need a roll call. Apologies. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Schweitzer. Alderman Oldenburg. Alderman Cone. Alderman Narayan. Alderman Balmer. Alderwoman Velazquez. Alderwoman Sanye. Alderwoman Spencer. Alderman Browning. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Alderwoman Keys. Alderwoman Tyus. Alderwoman Boyd. Alderman Aldridge. President Green.
Aye.
Alderwoman Spencer. Alderwoman Keys. Alderwoman Tyus. 13 aye votes.
By your vote, you have sustained the motion. Marshals, please clear the gallery and board floor. STL-TV, please place the full board in closed sessions. Only members of the board and Sharita are allowed to stay. And we are back. Courtesy resolutions. Alderwoman from the 10th, you are recognized on the motion to adopt the courtesy resolution consent calendar.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I move that we adopt the courtesy resolutions consent calendar.
Is there a second? It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 10th, seconded by the Alderman from the 14th, that we adopt the courtesy resolution consent calendar. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Miscellaneous and unfinished business.
We have none.
We can dispense with line item 23, announcement.
Monday, May 27, 2024, the office will be closed in honor of Memorial Holiday. Tuesday, May 28th, Budget and Public Employees will have a committee hearing in the Kennedy Room at 9 a.m. HUDs will have a committee hearing in the Kennedy Room at 2 p.m. Wednesday, May 29th, Budgeting Public Employees will have a hearing in the Kennedy Room at 9:30 a.m. Public Infrastructure will have a hearing in the Kennedy Room at 3:30 p.m. Budget and Public Employees will have a hearing at Urban League. The address is 1408 North Kings Highway at 6 p.m. and it will be input from the public. Thursday, May 30th, 2024, Budget and Public Employees will meet in the Kennedy Room at 10:30 a.m. And Friday, May 24th, 2024, full board meeting in the chambers at 10 a.m. That's the extent of the announcements.
Any further announcements? Alderman from the 4th.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. At 2 p.m. on Thursday, May 30th, Public Safety will have a meeting in the Kennedy Room to take up the members of the COB.
Any further announcements? Alderwoman from the 10th.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I have a few. First, I'd like to say happy birthday to my son, Jabari Hubbard. We love you. There is so much greatness in you, and we are continually proud of you. We know sometimes there are storms that come before the sun, and so we know again that there is greatness in you. Happy birthday, happy Dub Day. We love you. I hope you enjoy your day. I also want to announce in the 10th ward the one-on-one space that we create every month to bring the 8 neighborhoods together at the last Monday of the month. Of course, clearly it's not going to happen in May. We're having no meet in May. Enjoy your holiday. Please have a safe holiday. here in the city. And then since she's here, I would like to announce Alderwoman Pam Boyd. Alderwoman Boyd, since she's in the I was going to call it a sanctuary. Since she's here on the floor, I would like to have give her a round of applause, her flowers as being chairwoman of the Annie Malone Children's Home. Her and Keisha Lee and their leadership, we had an amazing time at the parade, the 114th parade, Annie Malone Day parade. So let's give Alderwoman Boyd her flowers while she's here.
Alderman from the 3rd.
Thank you, Madam President. I too want to give flowers to Alderwoman Boyd for all of her hard work. It's always a wonderful event every year. I do also want to acknowledge the hard work of our Parks and Rec employees. If you don't know, this weekend the public pools are going to be opening in our city parks. Dutchtown and Ward 3 is home to Marquette Park and Marquette Rec Center and Marquette Pool. The city of St. Louis is one of the few cities in the entire country that have free public pools still. In the entire country. It should be a great source of pride for our residents and our city to be able to provide those amenities to our citizens. And I am so happy that we're having a pool opening in Dutchtown tomorrow at noon. I invite all of you to attend. It's always a good time to see the kids and the neighbors out enjoying our public amenities. Thank you.
Alderwoman from the 7th.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I too want to give my props to Alderwoman Boyd for the work that she did with the Annie Malone Parade. I also want to thank all the alders, who came out with our St. Louis versus Everybody shirts. St. Louis versus Everybody shirts, and really represented and had a good time and just kind of had time to build a relationship and hang with each other. I also want to make sure that I give a big thank you to every constituent who came out to our town hall on vacancy, and also I want to thank Ed Ware, and I want to thank Dylan Mosier and John McLaughlin, Maya Woods, and Reen Harris, who's a neighborhood improvement specialist. They came out, they were so great, they answered all the questions, they explained so much information. It was very, very helpful, I think, for the community. And I also want to, I know we don't have the resolution up before us, but Miss Ollie Stewart's event, bringing it together is coming upon us. So I also want to make sure I uplift that again. It is tomorrow, so I hope that we will be there and have a good time and commence with each other and get some cute photos. Thank you.
Alderman from the 14th.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I want to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day, but also we have a special birthday that will be next Tuesday. The Alderwoman from the 6th Ward will be having a birthday, and I wanted to ask body to make her feel welcome as she'll be turning 21 all over again. So happy birthday, Alderwoman.
Alderman from the 9th. Alderman from the 9th.
Thank you. Just want to remind everybody that this afternoon and this evening from 4 to 7 p.m. we have engagement around the Kings Highway traffic plan. That will be at the Wall Center, 1515 Kings Highway. Just want to see everyone there. I'll be there. We're not going to get a better Kings Highway unless we ask for it. So I hope to see not just my colleagues there, but also all my constituents and just everybody here. So yeah, come out and lend your voice. Thanks.
Alderman from the 4th.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. Just wanted to also note that Monday is Memorial Day, and so wanted to tell everyone to have a good Memorial Day. It's a popular day to barbecue and drink beers and have a good time. Make sure that you're safe when you're doing that, and please do take a moment out of your day to just remember the sacrifice of the people who gave you that holiday. Thank you.
Alderman from the 14th.
Thank you, Madam President, member of the board. I can't believe I forgot this. That's also as important. Over the weekend, Jasheen will be also having a birthday, but Janika Hayden from the president office will be having a birthday. So I want the body to make her feel welcome because her birthday will be happening. It is Seasons of Gemini. So happy birthday, Jasheen.
Any further announcements? Alderwoman from the 7th.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. Bringing It Together will be at 11 a.m. tomorrow at the upper parking lot at the Muni. Sorry, I know those details are important for folks. And also, of course, I have to say to all of my colleagues, you guys have emails with drafts of legislation and ideas about shelters and special residential uses. And make sure that you know that the invitation to bring me anywhere in your community is still open, and also to meet with you and discuss as we move forward in the process. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderwoman from the 8th, did you have an announcement? No. Do you have No? Okay. I wasn't sure if you were at the mic or not before she was. All right. Any further announcements? Any further announcements? Seeing none, Alderwoman from the 10th, you are recognized on the motion to excuse.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I move that we excuse the Alderwoman from the 11th for necessary absence.
Is there a second? It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 10th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 6th, that we excuse the Alderperson from the 11th for necessary absence. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Alderwoman from the 10th, you're recognized on the motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I move that we adjourn until Friday, May 31st, 2024 in the Board of Aldermen chambers.
It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 10th, seconded by the Alderman from the 3rd, that we adjourn until Friday, May 31st, 2024 in the Board of Aldermen chambers. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? No. Motion carries. We are adjourned.